My mother had fruit flies every single summer. She'd open a bowl of peaches on the counter, and within a day or two, the whole kitchen was full of them. She tried commercial traps, sprays, complicated DIY solutions with plastic wrap and rubber bands, every trick from the internet. Some worked a little, most didn't work at all. Then my brother-in-law, who runs a restaurant kitchen, showed her a $1 trick that eliminates fruit flies completely, usually within 24 to 48 hours. Since she started using it, she hasn't had a fruit fly problem in 2 years. It's almost too simple to believe. Let me walk you through what fruit flies are, why they're so persistent, and the $1 trap that outperforms every commercial product I've tested. First, let's talk about fruit flies. Those tiny tan or brownish flies with red eyes that hover around fruit bowls and garbage are Drosophila melanogaster and related species. They're attracted to fermenting sugars, which means ripe or overripe fruit, fermenting liquid in a garbage can, residue in a drain, the sludge that builds up in a recycling bin. They reproduce extremely fast. A female lays hundreds of eggs, and from egg to adult takes about a week. By the time you see them, you already have a breeding population somewhere in your kitchen. Where do they come from? Usually, they arrive on produce from the store. The eggs or larvae are on the fruit, invisible to you. When you bring it home, they hatch out over a few days and start breeding. Other sources include neglected garbage, bottles waiting for recycling with drink residue, or damp sponges with food particles. Once established, they can live on just about any fermenting organic matter in your kitchen, including things you might not think of, like the gunk in your garbage disposal or the residue in the bottom of a compost bin. Commercial fruit fly traps cost $5 to $10 each, use a chemical lure, and often work okay, but not great. Bug zappers are largely ineffective for fruit flies, which aren't strongly attracted to light. Sprays kill the ones you see, but not the eggs and larvae developing elsewhere. Professional exterminators sometimes have to return multiple times. The $1 trap is apple cider vinegar. That's it. A small cup or bowl of apple cider vinegar, covered with plastic wrap with small holes poked in it. Fruit flies are irresistibly attracted to the vinegar, which smells like fermenting fruit. They fly in through the holes, can't figure out how to leave, and drown. Here's why this outperforms commercial traps. Commercial traps use fruit fly attractants that work, but the formulation is less optimized than nature's own. Apple cider vinegar, being literal fermenting fruit juice, is exactly what fruit flies evolved to find. The scent signals food and breeding opportunity. Flies approach from across the room. Compared to complex traps with specific openings they have to navigate, the open surface with small access points catches more flies, faster. Here's the basic setup. A small glass or bowl. A few tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. A few drops of dish soap, which breaks the surface tension so flies sink when they land rather than floating on top. Plastic wrap over the top. A rubber band to hold the plastic wrap. A toothpick or a skewer to poke small holes, about pencil eraser size. That's it. Total cost, maybe $1 for vinegar if you don't have any, plus pennies for the rest. Place the trap near the infestation source. If you have fruit flies around a specific fruit bowl, put the trap right next to it. If they're near the garbage, put it near the garbage. Flies go to the trap instead of the food source. Within hours, you'll start seeing flies accumulate in the liquid. Replace the trap every few days, or more often for severe infestations. Clean out the accumulated flies and refresh the vinegar. For a heavier infestation, use multiple traps in different parts of the kitchen. One near the fruit bowl, one near the trash, one near the sink, one near the recycling. Multiple traps catch flies from different attraction vectors, but the trap alone is only half the solution. The other half is eliminating breeding sites. Step 1. Find and dispose of the source. Usually there's a single specific item that's fueling the infestation. Overripe fruit in the bowl. A rotting potato in the pantry. A spill under the refrigerator. Fermenting residue in a recycle bottle. Find and dispose of the source, and you cut off future generations. Step 2. Clean drains. Fruit flies often breed in the slimy residue inside drain pipes, especially kitchen sink drains and garbage disposals. The residue holds decomposing organic matter that's perfect for larvae. Treat drains by pouring boiling water down them, followed by a cup of baking soda and a cup of vinegar. Let it fizz for 10 minutes, then flush with hot water. For garbage disposals, grind ice cubes with salt to scour the grinding chamber, or run lemon peels to clean. Do this weekly during fruit fly season. Step 3. Empty the trash daily. During active fruit fly season, take garbage out every day, even if the bag isn't full. Clean the inside of the garbage can monthly with soap and water to remove accumulated residue. Step 4. Rinse recycling. Bottles and cans that go into recycling often have residue that attracts fruit flies. Rinse them before stacking. Step 5. Store fruit in the refrigerator. Once fruit ripens, it's better in the fridge than the counter. Refrigeration slows the fruit fly life cycle dramatically. For fruit you want to keep on the counter, cover it with a mesh produce cover, which costs about $5. Step 6. Check the pantry and any spots you might not immediately consider. Onions and potatoes in dark corners. An old bag of apples in the back of the fridge. A jar of pickles or olives that spilled and has residue behind. The source can be hidden. Step 7. Wet mop the kitchen floor weekly. Food debris in cracks and corners feeds fruit flies. A clean floor removes breeding sites. Enhancement ideas beyond the basic trap. For even better catch rates, add a ripe banana peel to the vinegar. The combined scent of vinegar and fermenting banana is extremely attractive. Or use red wine instead of vinegar, which works similarly. Or use a mixture of old fruit juice and vinegar. Whatever fermenting sweet substance you have works. For stubborn infestations, try a 2-trap approach. 1 trap with vinegar, 1 with a bit of stale beer. Different flies respond to slightly different scents, and covering both increases catch rate. For larvae and drains, a commercial drain fly and fruit fly gel, about $10, treats the biological film inside drain pipes where larvae live. This is sometimes needed for persistent problems. For professional kitchens or restaurants dealing with constant infestations, industrial fly traps that use pheromones and dedicated electric zappers for small flies are effective. But for home use, the simple vinegar trap is enough. A few notes on specific scenarios. If you have fruit flies, but also gnats, fungus gnats, or drain flies, different species have slightly different habits and preferred foods. Fruit flies respond to vinegar traps. Fungus gnats, which breed in houseplant soil, don't respond as well. For fungus gnats, let houseplants dry out between waterings and apply beneficial nematodes or a hydrogen peroxide solution to the soil. Drain flies breed in drain residue and benefit from drain cleaning. For homes with pet food, cover it when not being eaten. Pet food residue attracts fruit flies. For fermenting drinks or beer brewing setups, fruit flies are a particular problem because the raw materials are perfect attractants. Keep fermentation vessels sealed and set up dedicated traps near them. For produce-heavy households, like those with regular deliveries or large gardens, assume fruit flies will arrive periodically and keep traps set as a preventive measure, especially in summer. If the trap catches very few flies, despite a clearly active infestation, your traps may be too far from the attraction source. Move them closer. Or check for a breeding site you haven't found yet. The economic comparison. $1 for vinegar, pennies for dish soap and plastic wrap. Total, under $2 for an entire season of fruit fly control. Versus $10 to $20 per commercial trap, often ineffective, or $200 for pest control visits that don't solve the underlying problem. One more note. Fruit flies are a symptom, not a root cause. If you're having regular infestations, something in your environment is consistently feeding them. Finding and eliminating the source is the permanent fix. The vinegar trap catches the adults, but you still need to stop the breeding cycle. Do both, and the problem vanishes. For a family with kids and pets, this approach is safer than sprays. No chemicals, no residues, nothing to worry about. Just vinegar and a cup. If you've been dealing with fruit flies in your kitchen, set up a trap today. 1 small glass with a bit of apple cider vinegar, a drop of dish soap, plastic wrap with tiny holes. Place it near where you see the flies most often. Within 24 hours, you'll see the catch start. And if you also clean the drains, take out trash daily, and refrigerate ripe fruit, The population crashes quickly. No sprays, no expensive traps, no exterminators. Just a dollar bottle and a little kitchen hygiene. It really is that simple.